Hello and welcome to Composing Tips. Marvel. Now the Marvel Cinematic Universe is carried by its characters, there is no doubt about that. But where would those movies be without the music to elevate the emotions that those characters are portraying? So in this series I'll go over some useful pointers on how to produce your own Marvel style tracks. In this one we're going to be looking at the Avengers. So let's start off with the strings. I'm not going to play any of the Avengers soundtrack because I'll end up getting copyrighted, but you can have a listen to it yourself and just have a think what makes up that string part. Think about how they're played and what sort of speed they're playing at. And please just ignore the fact that they sound a little robotic. I mean, it's early days in the piece, it's not mixed, it's a work in progress, and if you've got any other excuses, please tell me in the comments below, I need them for next time. So, to cover the basics, the strings are in 4/4, they're playing at 120 BPM, which I found to be pretty much exactly what the Avengers theme was playing at, and most importantly, they are playing with the staccato articulation. They are bouncy, they have action to them, they have pace. They are not smooth strings that you hear from melody lines. Admittedly, the Avengers soundtrack does have a little bit of a better string sound than I do, but they also have a slightly higher budget than me. Not by much, but it's probably way up there. Now the rhythm is the main factor in creating an action-based sequence. Here I've emulated the rhythm from the theme with slow crotchets and occasional quicker quavers. Now don't forget, I'm not aiming to copy the Avengers theme, I'm aiming to take features from it to create my own feel to it. And so most importantly, it has to be repetitious. The bass is then accenting a select few of the notes to get that action Avengers feel. Now, onto the key. We're in G minor, but any minor will do, and play around with the first, major fourth, and sixth chords of the scale. In G minor, this is G minor, of course, C major as the major fourth, and E flat major. It's naturally a major being the sixth of the minor scale. Find a cycle that is simple with just enough movement to refrain from being boring. This gives you an easy platform to work with when it comes to applying your melody. Video on that at another time. Now, for the main features, these are the things that really make the Avengers track pop. Once you've got that staccato rhythm going, you can then add a tremolo violin over the top, normally a little bit higher in the octave range, and that really adds to the building, it adds to the progression of the piece. It builds it up without doing all that much, it's just this high thing, and because it's tremolo, it's action. For some reason, tremolo equals action in this particular instance. So another primary feature is to use the modulation wheel to add emotion to the individual parts. Now of course, this does apply to pretty much anything when it comes to emulating strings through a computer. But, I mean, you can hear on mine sounds absolutely robotic at the moment because everything is so staccato. So the modulation wheel will really help me to bring it back to a human level. You have the dynamic range being applied to all these different parts. And finally, this is the big one. This is the big feature that it makes everything huge. You want to stack the violins at different octaves to play alongside the brass melody line. It just, I don't even know. Once I discovered this, and it sounds so simple, you just put strings on top of whatever the brass does, you make them copy, you make another strings track, you put it an octave higher, you make another strings track, you put it an octave higher. You've just got this huge sound that just fills the space, and you put some stacked violins behind that, playing the staccato rhythm, and suddenly you've got yourself an action theme. It's great, it really is. So that's that for the strings. I do introduce some basic chords later just to pad out the bottom bit, but that's not particularly exciting. If you think I've missed anything in regards to the Avengers theme and the strings, please let me know in the comments, and I'll make another video including your advice. But as I progress through this track, I'll show you more things to make it marvelly, including the percussion and melody lines, and of course, how to stop it sounding so robotic, because mine, it's not doing so well. So hopefully this video will show you the early stages of the composing when it's sounding robotic, and then at a later date I can show you how to progress from that composition to an organic feel to a big full mix that's releasable. So I hope that helped. If you've got any questions regarding the Avengers theme, composing in general, Logic Pro, Final Cut, or just the piano, just let me know in a comment below. And don't forget, if you've enjoyed this, just like, share and subscribe.